بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم my beloved ones, مؤمنين مؤمنات ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, we are going to continue our session on Manasik al-Hajj, and we were discussing the ruling number 16, and let's see where we are here. Okay, so we discussed about the wife, because she's considered like she's like divorce is like wife on probation, so she's also like in a buffering period, on a probation period. So she all the duties of husband and responsibilities befall in that period of divorce, and unless if there was a serious case of abuse or domestic violence and those kind of things, then the wife doesn't have to follow certain duties and responsibility, or the husband, if there was an opposite case, then the husband doesn't have to fulfill certain duties and responsibilities, other than in normal case, in normal divorce, the husband and wife are husband and wife, and until 3 periods have passed. This is what we mentioned about this. And so ruling number 60, this is something which is fascinating, because many times we hear that a woman cannot go Hajj by herself. So what if Hajj is wajib on the wife and it's not on the husband, or wajib on the daughter and not on the father, wajib on the father and on the mother and not on the father, or the son or on the brother? Anyhow, what if there's no mahram? Okay, or there's or mahram cannot be afforded. Like many times for these women, they have to not just pay for their own Hajj, they have to pay for the Hajj of the mahram as well, because without that they cannot go for Hajj. So I have to find someone, please become my mahram. And here a lot of corruption sometimes happen, and people they abuse, and people they make money. Oh, no, let me become your mahram, I'll go Hajj with you. And sometimes they say, oh, you have to make a temporary contract with them, and that temporary contract becomes abusive also. So there's a lot of issues happening by the issue of you have to have a mahram. Okay, what is the meaning of mahram? Blood related, related with blood. That means the one you cannot get married to, or you are married to. Okay, so what is in between? The one who is qualified for marriage. So your husband is not qualified for marrying you because he's already married to you. Okay, so he's a type of mahram. But mainly when we speak about mahram is like blood related, blood relations, those who are related with blood, like siblings, parents, children, brothers and sisters, and then uncles and aunt, not their spouses. There's a huge misconception. So if I have a paternal uncle, he has wife, she's na mahram for me. She's not mahram for me. She has to wear hijab, and I can't look at her without hijab. What about maternal mamu, like they say, khal, maternal uncle? His wife is na mahram to me. That means she has to wear hijab in front of me. So why? You cannot get married to her, to your paternal aunt or maternal aunt, not sorry, wife of the paternal uncle and a wife of the paternal maternal uncle. You cannot get married to them. Yes, while they are married to my uncles, but once they get divorced, they become you can get married to them. So they're potential, they can be potential wives. Okay, same thing. My brother's wife is like my sister. Okay, she can be like your sister, but potentially she's a wife for you. Potentially she can be wife. If her husband divorces or separates, then she can be wife. So this is a misconception. They think, no, my bhabi or my brother's wife is like a mahram to me. No, 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 no. Na mahram, not a mahram to you. That means she needs to do hijab, and you need to respect her hijab and not to watch her if she's not wearing hijab. So again, so blood relatives are direct blood relatives, not the one whom your paternal uncle, okay, your paternal uncle's wife, no, na mahram. Your maternal uncle's wife, no, na mahram. Your son's, your brother's wife, na mahram. Yes, your daughter-in-law, you can never ever get married to her even if the son divorces. That was the issue, that the Prophet ﷺ, when got married to the daughter in adopted, that daughter-in-law, Zayd was not the son of the Prophet ﷺ. So wife of Zayd, when he divorced her, the Prophet ﷺ got married to her. So how can he get married to the wife of his son? Was not the original son. It was not original son. So due to this mixed up in issues, Islam said, no, khalas, don't say this is your one of the reasons. Don't say this is your reason. But the main reason Quran mentions, that is just, that is fair. Just for the father who was the owner of the sperm, or just for the people, so that if the marriage issues happen, they don't get confused, oh, should I get married to her or not? So these kind of things should not happen in the case of adoption. Like, for example, there are so many examples I can give, but as long as the concept is understood, then the mahram is the one who is related with blood. So that one related with blood. So a wife cannot go with the husband of her sister. Why? He's like my brother. No, husband of your sister is na mahram, not mahram. Okay, ghair mahram. So this is a complication of mahram. School of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, the majority of the scholars in the school of Ahlul Bayt, they don't require mahram, but they require someone who can secure her, take care of her, because women might be vulnerable. I don't want to say they are vulnerable because of the new era. Now you can see women, they are more stronger. They do building or the bodybuilding and muscular activity, Mrs. Muscular. So I can't say that they're vulnerable. Okay, but no, most of the time and mostly women are vulnerable. They can be cheated, they can be abused, they can be harassed, they can be attacked. Anything can happen in the trip, especially those trips of the camel day trips. Okay, nowadays those fears are rarely close to 0.001. Why? Because you will drop her to the airport. Airport is packed with people. Okay, nobody will harass her or abuse her or insult her, and the authorities are there. She will come out from the immigration, and then after that immigration, she will be going into the bus to Mecca, packed with people. Yes, in Tawaf, she can choose areas where people are a bit giving COVID distance, because if you do Tawaf close to the Holy Kaaba, everybody is touching you to the squeezing point. So touching is not a problem during the tawaf, but to squeezing, many women, they don't feel comfortable by people, a guy from here, a guy from here, a guy from front and back, all squeezing the hell out of her. Come on, I mean, a dignified woman will never ever be tolerate that kind of condition. Though the intentions are not bad, perhaps, you see, but it's a seriously uncomfortable situation for me if I'm squeezed like that. So how is a woman? She's more like bashful than men. to be squeezed from four sides. So that tawaf. But no, if you are far away from the Kaaba and you do tawaf, touch here, that's fine. But at least you can maintain your space. So therefore, that is the issue. So school of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they don't require mahram as long as women can do her Hajj with security. If she goes with caravan, properly trustworthy caravan, not hungry for doing mut'ah with the women, like some of the caravans. I'm telling you, it's a very abusive thing sometimes. And then when people they talk against us about oh, Shia's mut'ah, yeah, because these crazy people, they have made the mut'ah mock. It's not original rules and regulations and discipline of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. The way Ahlul Bayt, akhlaq of Ahlul Bayt, if it surrounds mut'ah, it's totally different story. But then the image, again, the image of the Muslim, forget about mut'ah, forget about Shia Sunni. The Muslims, most of the people they cheat are Muslims. Most, not all. In many Western countries, you'll see, then our image becomes black. Like most of those wicked people, not the most of the committed people. Committed people are few. وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. My thankful servants are few. Anyhow, so that, but we cannot paint the whole Muslim with that brush that Muslims are thieves. The cause are some of the bad apples. So Jesus said, women, thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay. So can we say the whole Christianity nowadays, 90% of Christian, they do adultery, having relations without wedlock? Should we say the whole Christianity promotes adultery? No, they will not like it. Or the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not commit adultery. So should we say Judaism promotes adultery? No. So why, when a bad apples from Muslim community do thing, you just say Islam and Muslims are there. So there is a problem. Anyhow, let's come back to the topic. So issue of mahram. School of Ahlul Bayt, salamullahi alayhim, do not require mahram, do require security. Then if women's security depends on the existence of mahram, yes. But if does not, she doesn't need to be paid for double hajj for her and for her mahram. لا يشترط في وجوب الحج على المرأة وجود المحرم. It is not obligatory that a woman is not obligatory, like conditions or obligation for the hajj. Those conditions are there. So do we have an extra condition for women? That means if the mahram is not there, hajj is not wajib. If she goes for hajj without mahram, her hajj will be invalid, or it will not be considered hajjatul Islam. Remember, we said if you are not mustati', the conditions are not there, you are able to go for hajj, then that hajj will not be considered hajjatul Islam or hajjatul Islam, because the conditions were not there. Hajj was not activated upon you. Similarly, praying 10 o'clock in the before 10 o'clock before noon, Salat al-Dhuhr, we mentioned this, or praying the fast of holy month of Ramadan in 1 month earlier, like some of the crazy Shia mullahs are promoting this kind of thing, that Ramadan should be in September, not in Ramadan. It should be, these crazy thoughts are coming. I don't know, and some black imam wearing Shia, he doesn't have this basic knowledge about the timings and he's just giving a fatwa. No. The whole calendar needs to be changed, and the holy month of Ramadan should be in September. Okay, September is autumn for you. What about those people who live below the equator line? For them, the autumn is March. That's the post-summer. And if you really want to look into the meaning of Ramadan means Ramadan, it's related to hot, not autumn. It should be in the mid of summer. Why not in June? Why not in July? That's the most appropriate meaning for Ramadan. So these kind of crazy fatwas are coming out nowadays. So don't be surprised. So that's why we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessings of Marja'iyah, who are sound, intellectual people who have studied the core hadith and Quran and the depth of it, of Ahlul Bayt, and they come to conclusions and they give us this fatwa. So, la yushtaratu fi wujub. So one, it's not one of the conditions. That means if she goes without mahram and she gets into trouble, her hajj will be correct, but she might be considered sinner because she was supposed to get a mahram because of her security. She was not secured. So security is very important. So it is not required for, and security is required for the guy as well. One of the conditions of hajj is security. Not there should be no threat. So this threat is not just men or women, but women, they are more threatened mostly, unless if she was a Mrs. Muscular, then that things equations could be different. So la yushtaratu, it is not a condition in the obligation of hajj upon women that she the existence of mahram, wujudul mahram laha إذا كانت مأمونة على نفسها, if she had security upon herself. ومع عدم الأمن, and in the case of insecurity, يلزمها استصحاب mahram. No, she needs to have a company. She needs to have a company of who? من تأمن معه على نفسها, whom she can be secured through that company she took. So it could be caravan, bunch of 20-30 ladies going caravan with the caravan. So 5-6 women are there, they are sticking together, they're clicking with each other. So تأمن معه على نفسها ولو بأجرة, even if by paying someone, she's desperate to go for hajj. Now imagine her, if she's not secured, her hajj is not $10,000 our assumed amount, it will be $20,000. You pay for your hajj and you pay for the one who is going to provide you security. So it's better to get a bodyguard and take that bodyguard to get proper security. No, not that. That's not the aim. Anybody whom she feels that she's safe and her travel is safe and her journey is safe until she comes back. And that is if she was able to provide a security. Most of the women, they will say no. And nowadays, 99% of those who travel through caravans, they are safe and secure. Unless if she goes hajj with caravans of mob and mobsters and gangsters, I don't know, from some country, the whole mob goes. So then she might be in trouble. Oh my goodness. Then she might need proper bodyguards. Walau bi ujra, even by hiring someone. إذا تمكنت من ذلك, if she was able to pay for that, pay for the extra hajji. It doesn't need to be hajji. I mean, here maybe somebody who doesn't want to go for hajj. Maybe he's someone who's non-Muslim, but then the argument comes, can Muslim enter Makkah and not? There's another argument we are going to discuss. So let's keep this, not open the box of Pandora and box of worms, and keep this canned until we come to the topic of the entrance Makkah. وَإِلَّا لَمْ يَجِبْ عَلَيْهَا, if she cannot provide for somebody to travel with her, it should not be a guy. We should not picture a guy. Maybe she can take her friend, her sister, someone whom they two are better than one. Okay, maybe she can take someone who's Mrs. Muscular in the community. So anyhow, so security doesn't mean a guy. Okay, that's what the ruling says clearly, that she can take someone to escort her or to be with her, and that someone could be male, female, as long as the main thing is security. That's the ruling of mahram and na mahram. We don't have that mahram na mahram. Ruling number 61. إذا نذر أن يزور الحسين في كل يوم عرفة مثلا. If somebody makes a vow to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, every year, for example, the reason I say, for example, with these nuzur contracts, that I don't get stuck with it. I want to go without nether to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. إذا نذر أن يزور الحسين عليه السلام في كل يوم عرفة. He made a vow to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he will visit. The vow is like a promise, strong promise. Don't do it, you're a sinner, kafara. So you have to do it. To visit Imam Hussein alayhi salam in every Arafah, every year, that means Arafah, for example. One of the years he was able, istata'a, he got 10,000, he became capable of going for Hajj. وَاسْتَطَاعَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ. So what comes first, Nadhr or Hajj? Arafat, Hajj, obligatory Hajj, first Hajj. I know someone said, no, Imam Hussein. Those extremes, they don't know. They don't know the hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Hajj comes first. Wajib Hajj comes first. No mustahab can come against wajib Hajj. Okay. Yes, wajib can clash with wajib. What about this wajib? This wajib is accidental wajib. It was not wajib. It became wajib. Hajj is initially wajib, which was waiting for the activation in istita'a. Once istita'a comes, this accidental wajib steps aside for some time. You go that year for Hajj. Once you come back, then you continue until your end of your life going to Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. So, but that time when Hajj becomes wajib upon you, the ziyarat of Imam Hussein on the day of Arafah alayhi salatu wasalam will be part. Wajib alayhi al-Hajj when halla nadhruhu. The nadhr will be revoked, broken, okay, dissociated, will be deactivated. وَكَذَلِكَ كُلُّ نَذْرٍ يُزَاحِمُ الْحَجْ. Similarly, every nadhr, every vow conflicts with the obligation of Hajj will be deactivated. It will be no more obligation. The obligation will be deactivated of nadhr. Okay, so ruling number 62. Any other nadhr, any nadhr you say. Lillahi Ali, for example, that every year in this month, I will stay in Hajj in the season, I'll stay here and I'll feed the people on the day of Eid, or I will not miss Salatul Eid, or whatever. So it all goes deactivated. The nadhr becomes inactive. Yanhal. Ruling number 62. يجب على المستطيع الحج بنفسه. That's obvious. Like when it is obligated upon you to perform Hajj, then obviously you have to perform Hajj. It's wajib upon you to perform Hajj by yourself. What does that mean? You're not King Midas, okay? Okay, you know something? You go Hajj this year, I'll pay you. Why? Because Hajj is wajib upon me. You go for Hajj, I'll pay you. No. You go for Hajj. You don't want to become in the state of Ihram? You don't want to become similar like to every single human being coming wearing cloth? You don't want to feel like king? If there was a kingish Hajj, he would have gone. So this Mr. Midas, he doesn't want to go for Hajj because it's not suitable for him to be in public with that two towels and white towels and this and that. So no. Hajj is wajib upon you. You go by yourself. يجب على المستطيع الحج بنفسه إذا كان متمكنا بذلك. If he was capable of doing it by himself. You're capable, go by yourself. But if you are not capable, then that ruling comes after. Like Salah. Salah becomes wajib, you don't hire people to do Salah for you. If fasting becomes wajib on you, you don't hire people to fasting. As long as you can do it. ولا يجزي حج عنه حج غيره تبرعا أو بإجارة. Somebody performs the Hajj on your behalf by being hired or by voluntarily. Okay, no, that is not sufficient. You have to go by yourself as long as you are capable. So what if he's not capable? Like this ruling number 63. إذا استقر عليه الحج. Remember a guy whom Hajj befall on his head, thing activated. Okay, now you have to go for Hajj. It was floating obligation. It became mustati. All the conditions are there. He has to perform the Hajj. Now, with any means, he has to go. But for some reason, he was not able to go. He has the money. Maybe he got leg problem. Maybe he got surgery. Maybe he got some issues which prevents him from traveling. Maybe he got in the prison, lifetime prison, God forbid. Okay, every prison, God forbid. So may Allah keep us and Mu'mineen away from these oppressive detainments. But if it is haqq, the guy deserves it, deserves it. But we prayed Allah that a person should not reach, a mu'min should not reach that level of doing things which causes him to be there. ولم يتمكن إذا استقر عليه الحج ولم يتمكن من الحج بنفسه. He was not able to perform Hajj by himself. لمرض, due to the sickness. أو حصر, due to the prevention of traveling, something which is preventing him from traveling. Prison, his passport, his illegal documents, whatever. He can't. I mean, he is just like a prisoner in his hometown. Or he can travel but cannot do the manasik of Hajj. He cannot perform. Let's consider travel, because if you are there, you can appoint, even if here. So whatever reasons preventing you from either traveling, either performing manasik al-Hajj, or it was going to be cause of difficulty and hardship. He has his children. The children became, mashallah, mature now. The parents became old. So from the children, taking care of the parents. The parents are sick. I know someone, mashallah. He's been taking care of his children. Once the children became mature, then there was a time he started taking care of his wife. His wife became sick. He could not leave him. Then there was a time wife became good. His father became sick. His father died, rahmatullah alayh. His mother became sick. And he can't leave these people because he is the only one in the family who could take care of them. So he doesn't have a problem. He is not sick. He is not prohibited from traveling. He is not old. But it is a cause of difficulty and hardship for him to leave these people, and they depend on him totally. Remember the guy who was sinking, and the hyperbolic Orfani guy, he wanted to go for Hajj. He goes for Hajj. He said, no, Hajj is not wajib. Save that guy. You see, that obligation is more prior. That obligation is deactivated your obligation. It's more prior than the obligation of Hajj. Okay. So here, it's a matter of if he does not take care of them, they could end up into serious ramification or complication, medical complications, or any kind of problem. You see, ولم يرجى تمكنه من الحج بعد ذلك, and there was no hope that he could be able to perform the Hajj after that without any difficulty and hardship. So the difficulty and hardship continue. There's no hope, okay? Unless if those people whom he taking care of dies, but he can't hope the death of somebody. He would always pray the prolonging of the life of whomsoever who's very dear to him is taking care of him. وجبت عليه الاستنابة. In this case, appointing a representative would be obligatory, because he was able to, he did not. So Hajj became activated upon him and has not been deactivated until now. But he cannot travel. All these problems are preventing him from going for Hajj. Then he has to appoint a representative who would do all the manasik al-Hajj on his behalf, and he's responsible to pay that person. وكذلك من كان موسرا ولم يتمكن من المباشرة. Even if somebody, he was able to, and he has money and everything, but he was not able to perform the manasik by himself. Like for example, he can go to Makkah, but there he cannot do the tawaf, he cannot do the Hajj. It's very complicated. It has serious problems or cause of difficulty and hardship. He has some urine problems, um, semen problem, whatever. Like there are serious medical issues where he's continuously in janaba, continuously in najasa, continuously in those kind of things, and it is difficult for him to come out and purify himself. And especially nowadays, you find all the restrooms of purification are all the way out. So you go out all the way and come back. And especially nowadays, there you can't enter haram from any gate. There are specific gates. So your gate of exit is a bit quite far away from the gate of entry. So it's not just going out and coming back in. You go out and then you go to the restroom and then all the way you come in the second, the gate of entrance. So they have just now, because I saw in Umrah when I went there, I saw that the gates of entrance and the gates of exits are different. And there's so much controlling on the gates of entrance. And if you accidentally go from the same gate, so if the guards in the front, they will not stop you, then there are layers of guards. So but anyhow, there are people still, they were sneaking and they're going in. So maybe they had the Ismail Azam or something like that. But anyhow, so these regulations you have to respect, because Ayatollah Sistani says we have to respect the regulations and respect the control and respect everything. We can't go bypass that. But what about this ruling? Yeah, so this person is performing the manasik al-Hajj becomes for him a cause of difficulty and hardship. He can travel, he can do sa'i, but tawaf will be very difficult for him. So here he can appoint representative to do whatever actions, even not all. Going to Arafat is difficult for them, going to Muzdalifah, all these kind of things are difficult or cause of difficulty, especially in heat, summer, like these days. The Hajj is coming in the mid of summer, and I have been in that season, and I know when it was not global warming, how it was warming there. Now it's not warming, it would be burning there. So therefore, the thawab of the Hajj this coming year is going to be greater, because the more difficult you face and you can tolerate in performing the rituals of Hajj or being close to Allah, like those people who walk for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the more your rewards becomes higher and higher. With patience and tolerance, the reward becomes juicy and multiplied. So therefore, we're not saying that you go and destroy yourself to serve Allah. No, we are saying that if you have to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, either by Hajj or visiting, and if you have difficult route and you face difficulty and you tolerate that, you get more reward than the normal way. And then, okay, so should I appoint a representative today, this year, or next year? They said, no. The obligation to appoint a representative is as instant as the instantaneousness of the obligation of Hajj. So if you have a representative, fawran, tell him, this year you have to help me and go Hajj on my behalf. I'll give you the expenses and everything. وَوُجُوبُ الْإِسْتِنَابَةِ, the obligation of appointing a representative, fawri, is instant. كَفَوْرِيَّةُ الْحَجِّ الْمُبَاشِرِ, as instantaneousness of the self-Hajj, obligation of the self-Hajj. So self-Hajj means you perform by yourself. You cannot, after all these reasons, then you have to immediately find someone to do Hajj on your behalf. We will take this, or let's end this, because we have already covered half an hour. So inshallah, tomorrow, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we will take ruling number 64, uh, which is the year of birth of someone who is in this session, I know. So inshallah, we pray that may Allah lengthen his life. Ameen Rabbil Alameen, and keep him healthy and safe and secure. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين والسلام عليكم.